Oh, thanks, everyone. I have two announcements. First, we didn't use EasyCater for this meeting, which is why the food never arrived. Also, and I just thought of this, effective immediately, everyone will be paid in wildly volatile cryptocurrency. You're all now billionaires. And now you're broke.
Bad ideas happen when there's no food for the meeting. So make sure it's on time and as ordered from more than 80,000 restaurants. Now, EasyCater.
You're rich again. And now you're not.
Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.
This is the men's room.
Get it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Chrysler Consultants are standing by. We'll take caller 988-44999-OLA, and you'll play Profile This in minutes. And we do have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check into Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, the owner of an animal shelter in North Carolina cared for 27 cats and dogs that were left behind when Hurricane Florence hit. But the building she kept them in was still in the process of being permitted, so she got arrested for it.
Jesus.
Wait, for what?
For
keeping the animals.
Yeah, for practicing veterinary medicine on the animals when she didn't have the proper permits.
I would ask this then. If same hurricane hits, Ted is drowning, I decide against my better angels on to go ahead and give him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Am I going to get arrested?
Thanks,
because, hey, man, you got it. Because I'd have to, shave your mouth. Like, went under my beer. I couldn't do it. Do I get arrested for practicing medicine without a license? You know what I mean? If you do the Heimlich maneuver on someone at a restaurant that you don't know because they're choking.
I'm wondering if she was actually giving them medicines and procedures to help them out if they were injured.
Hey, look, wait.
A little bit more in depth.
She may have been, but I mean, they were going to die or whatever. I mean, goddamn, man.
Welcome to the world, kids.
Why did you give him Jack Daniels before you severed his arm? That's not medicine.
An idiot in Florida stole an 18-pack of Natty Ice last Tuesday, then led cops on a high-speed chase in a stolen truck.
Is it worth all that?
When they finally stopped him, he had a beer in each hand and would not drop them.
All right. Yeah. That is the Natty Ice drinker. That's the guy you put on their commercials. He's flying down the road. He's got to be like, you're not taking my Natty Ice.
You think he pounded both of them before they cuffed him?
Yes. Then they show the Falcons hidden like a 90-yard bomb, and they have Ryan's hands up there, and they go, Natty Ice for winners.
I mean, listen, Miles is right.
Story. People don't know that, right? Natty Ice, literally, that is from drinking Natty Ice.
Yeah. And you got to think this, too. If the guy has successly gotten away from the cops,
right.
At some point his buddies go, what else did you steal?
He did it in a Nissan Sentra. I feel like it's a 4-cylinder.
18-pack.
Yeah, right.
Stealing an 18-pack and just power chugging two of them like, dang.
And then he had sex with 2 women in the trailer.
And a grizzly bear.
And he had a TV dinner afterward.
How can you not afford an 18-pack of Natty Ice?
Doesn't matter. He's just going to steal it. I ain't got time to wait in line, son.
He powered down a hungry man Salisbury steak, knocked back an 18-pack, and had sex with 2 women in 1 trailer. Natty Ice.
A 37-year-old woman in Oregon stole an ambulance while paramedics were out doing CPR on someone.
Oh.
She then drove 30 miles, rammed a cop car, and tried to claim the EMTs should be the ones in trouble for leaving the doors unlocked. Because that's where we live.
Well, no, remember, I think Miles and I were laughing about this last week. And, I agree with Miles. The statement, somebody got robbed, but the point was they left their doors unlocked. And I'm like, think about how effed up things are. We're in the end, well, hey, man, you got to lock your doors, which you should, but it's just the idea that people suck.
Right.
People suck. You should lock your doors.
That's a bold move. Stealing the ambulance, ramming a cop car, then be like, they shouldn't have left
What
it
if the
unlocked.
person they were working on...
Once you steal the ambulance, it's like the Natty Ice guy. Once you've led cops on a high-speed chase because you stole Natty Ice, once you steal an ambulance, ram a cop car, just say whatever you want.
Here's a tip. Yeah, they're giving someone CPR. More than likely, that person is going to need a ride to the hospital.
Right.
I don't think she was worried about that.
You're taking the ride to the hospital of the person who's potentially needing it the most.
Miles,
stealing an
I
ambulance.
hear
Do you care?
Think about the person you're talking to.
Yeah.
All of us already know that. She does not care.
A 25-year-old woman in Kentucky got thrown in jail after she went to a tanning salon and left her 2 young kids in the car with a loaded handgun within reach.
Jeez, man.
How many stories have we heard? Kid finds it under the seat and blows his brother away. Guns don't belong in your car, man.
Well, not especially if your two young kids are in the car without.
Right.
Especially then.
Hey, I gotta keep this on me because someone's gonna take it.
Do what I do. Keep a club in there. A new study suggests canned wine isn't a fad. It's here to stay.
Of course it is.
I didn't even know canned wine was a thing.
Mike,
it's real, dude.
Joe, and of course it's here to stay. You took alcohol and put it in a more convenient carrying case. Like, if you could just squirt it directly by mouth, here to stay.
I used to think that boxed wine was the big faux pas.
No,
I
because
said
box
box
wine,
wine's-
you can't fit in your purse, Mike.
Not only that, but box wine, based on the fact that it's in a bladder, it doesn't go bad because no air can get into it. So in theory, it's one of the best ways
It
to
holds
actually,
fine.
Yeah, to keep
it's
one.
fine.
But I know that it was frowned upon by the entire wine drinking community.
No, listen. The wine drinking community is different than people that drink wine, right? It's like there's foodies, but everyone I know eats.
Yeah.
There's
Everyone
just
I know loves like a nice microbrew and all that. Look, man, if they sold a Coors party ball again, I'd be like, dude, I got a party ball. Come on over. This is the greatest thing ever. I got a party ball. I'm pumping it as we speak.
Yeah, no, like if you party on a river, you better have that bladder out.
Right.
Yeah, and the box wine says,
Come
like,
on.
hey, man, they like wine.
They say
like
different-
wine enough that they want to be able to dispense it into their glass.
Many times.
Imagine if Jack Daniels did that,
I'll take the beer tower.
right?
A woman in Colorado hid her life savings of $35,000 in her freezer because she figured it'd be safe if the house
I'm
were to burn
fishy
down.
on this story. I think this is bull crap.
But apparently she forgot and she returned the freezer to Costco.
Okay, did she also forget the 4 steaks that she had in there?
Right.
The dinosaur-shaped nuggets.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
I think that's the question.
You know, like, I'm okay. Did she just like, I'm going to take this back with all the food in it?
Right? Does she just like have another freezer out in the garage that
No.
she keeps all of her cold storage in, or
But why wouldn't she take the one package and put that in there?
But it's still a stupid con because even if she's telling the truth, right? Say it's true. Costco's not on the hook for it. Like,
No.
we don't know
You
what
give
you're
it
telling
back.
you.
Yeah, and the more we talk about it, you're right. Like, who would return an appliance with food still in it?
who puts
Correct.
their life savings of $35,000 in the freezer?
Mike, you'd be surprised. A lot of people will hide valuables in the freezer. You should stop because everyone breaks in your house knows this, but a lot of people put this is before the days of electronics. So
Why
now
is there a padlock on the freezer?
I can smash and grab electronics. You want the TVs and all that stuff. But before that became, put it this way, before TVs were light enough to carry out on your own, people that had expensive jewelry and stuff or wads of cat, they put it in their freezer. Except when everyone tells you they're doing that, that tells me that everyone knows
gives away
that
the
some stuff's
secret.
in the freezer.
4 out of 5 people gain, quote, love weight when they get in a serious relationship, according to a new study.
Yeah, because
Love
once it's
weight.
serious,
Yeah.
you're stuck with it.
And guess what? And 4 out of 5 people lose weight when they get that dumped weight.
Remember when
Comes
we...
right off their body. This is not too hard to figure
Mike,
out.
be honest, right?
You wanna lose the weight? Break up.
When you first started dating, if you knew you were going to see your girlfriend, you probably shaved every time. Shower. Now it's
Yeah.
like, hey, baby, it's been 3 days since I showered. And can you pop this thing under my armpit? Like,
I just
right.
want to
Like
let you
popping
know.
stuff under my armpit.
I just want to let you know. Haven't shaved my legs in a while. Okay.
She
I don't
shaved
care.
her legs every time you saw her before.
I don't really
now.
care, but you know, if you feel like you need to tell me, that's
Looks
okay.
like Pat Benatar's leg
Exactly.
warmer. She doesn't care.
I had sex with a Wookiee.
And a lot of people, like, they're comfortable, but also they're just kind of happy. So
Right.
they just,
You're not going out as much.
Yeah.
That has a lot to do with it, man.
right, and the hunt is over.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to have the salad. I'm having the fries.
Someone donated...
Damn right I am.
Right, like no burger and
No,
fries.
I had enough salad.
Usually
Not
you get-
diet, Coke.
Usually you get the
Just Coke.
salad. I know, but I'm here with a girl.
You
Someone...
said you love me.
Right.
Pass the butter.
You know what? Just deep fry the burger too.
Someone donated a lot of cocaine to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
How much? I was pretty lucky.
It's a lot, man.
Okay, how
Like
much is
7 figures. Well, 8 figures a lot.
Are we talking pounds or cash?
No, this is cash.
Oh.
How much you think?
7 figures?
8 figures.
Eight figures.
8 figures.
8 figures?
$10 million.
$10 million.
$10 million.
Miles?
Yeah, $20 million.
$20 million.
I'll go high. I'll say $25 million of Wahania.
Of a whore.
25.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. The category is cocaine, we know.
So I got 10 with Thrill. I got 20 with Miles. And Ted, you're sticking what, 25?
$25 million.
And a whole
$25 million. I'll tell you how much there was 1 hour from now.
Oh,
Thank you,
yeah.
Mike Hawk. Headlines are coming up 1 hour from now. First, the game is...
The Men's Room presents Profile
And
This.
Stephen Thrill Hill, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
Yes, indeed, I could, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes a story a story. Ted, guess who it is? James, welcome to the men's room.
I'm sorry, people are dropping off gifts for thrill. It's just kind of fun.
What the hell is that?
Hola! Here you go.
Black History Month. All right, James, you understand how this here game is played?
It's unbelievable.
Yes, I do.
All right, fantastic. Here's your story.
Might have been one of the most blatantly racist things I've ever seen in my life.
I'm going to HR.
Here you go. Have some soda.
All right, Miles brought up this very story earlier on today's show, but it's so stupid it is worth repeating. A man was booked into the county jail over the weekend after he was accused of and admitted to reaching for a handgun to end a dispute with a longtime friend over a Bruno Mars song. The 71-year-old man is facing battery after the incident at his home. Now, apparently, a man told officials that he and another friend were hanging out with a friend on Friday night, and the man told police, "We've all been friends for over 50 years. But that did not prevent the suspect from escalating the fight about the unknown Bruno Mars song. Apparently, he and one of the other guys started arguing about who the song was, what the song was, and who the artist was. That's a fair argument. So the one man pulled out his phone, looked it up, and sure enough, it was in fact Bruno Mars. Inexplicably, armed with evidence, this made the conflict get worse. So the two of them almost came to blows, but finally they didn't punch each other. Instead, the suspect pulled out his gun and pistol whipped him with his .38, but accidentally fired the gun twice. Granted, he did not shoot anyone. No one was really injured. But after some time, the two men called the cops, and this guy has, in fact, been arrested. But he also admitted to the crime. But do you believe that this angry man who pistol whipped his buddy of 50 years is black, white, Mexi, or Jew?
Well, for the fact that it's Bruno Mars and he got pistol whipped, I'm going to say black.
All right. Final answer.
Strong enough.
Final answer.
All right, James, we're going to find out if he was black, white, Mexican, or Jewish next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the men's room.
All right, profile this. We have 3 lifelong friends. They've been friends for over 50 years. And they got into an argument over whether if Bruno Mars, I guess it was a Bruno Mars song or not.
We don't know what the song was, but who's the artist?
So, right, who is the artist involved? And then they showed him, hey, look, this is actually a Bruno Mars song. And so he got pissed off, and that wasn't fine with him, and he swung a gun at his buddy, hit his buddy in the face. The gun discharged, and then it discharged at another time. Either way, I do have a theory on what the song could possibly be.
What do you think the song was? Because one thing we don't know about the argument, in addition to not knowing the song, we don't know who the other artist was brought into the argument, which I think would help.
Now, I think this is it. And I've done a lot of thinking on this because I, in fact, really do like Bruno Mars, and I thought of this through. And the fact was he did not believe it was, quote, a Bruno Mars song. My money says that the song was CeeLo Green's F.U. And his buddy said, you know what? Did you know that this is a Bruno Mars song? And he said, it is not a Bruno Mars song. This is CeeLo Green.
But the argument ends in them saying, like, no, it is a Bruno Mars
because
song.
no, wait. Mars song.
But keep in mind, as the story says, it was, all right, hang on. I hear what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
But I don't think it was that. I think, again, this is a 71-year-old man, so the fact that CeeLo,
I think he knows
still kind of blows my mind.
I think he knows this Bruno Mars.
Well, apparently he doesn't, because he was wrong. He didn't even think he was the artist. Okay. Pistol whipped his buddy. The thing discharges. He admits to it. The cops arrest him. And James, we asked you, did you believe this guy was black, white, Mexi, or Jew? And you're real quick. You said, look, man, it's Bruno Mars. Dude got pistol whipped. It's a black guy. Oh, sorry. White. Ted, I'm going to show you this picture. That this guy even knows who Bruno Mars is to have an argument about it. It shocks me.
Oh, come on. Look at that. It's the biggest Bruno Mars fan in the world right there, that guy.
I think even Bruno Mars saw the story and said, that guy knows who I am.
How did I get involved in this? I mean, how did my name even mentioned in this story?
Generally, you would just think if it was white, it'd be about the volume of the music.
Oh, man.
As opposed to just like, who's the music?
Now, well, keep in mind, he didn't pistol whip. So the suspect, the guy who got arrested, he was arguing that it was not Bruno Mars. His buddy said it was. So they did what everyone does now, pulls out the cell phone, he looks it up, holds it up to him and says,
look, it's Bruno Mars.
Most people, the argument is now over. That's when this guy pulled out his gun and pistol whipped him. So what you don't want to do is win an argument with him.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon.
the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Oftentimes, when people have facial hair, they're kind of famous for it, and they keep it around for a while. So Alex Trebek, traditionally, mustache. I think...
I like to call that the flavor saver.
Right, but he's kind of famous. Like, he's always had it, this and that. I mean, he's been so connected with that mustache, he's almost like a fireman.
And when he shaved it, people lost their mind. It was actually a news story when Alex Trebek shaved it.
Yeah, and like most things, this will not shock you. He was having some fun with some people, but at the end of the day, there's one boss at home that everybody bows down to, and the stash is gone.
Sorry to have to tell you folks, but voting is now closed, and we've determined that the winner is my wife, Jean. She voted for me to be clean-shaven, and so...
We know.
That's it.
We know.
You can see the video of him shaving off the mustache on the Venture Facebook page.
Hey, man, he had a goatee for a while.
Right, he was doing the goatee, then he grew out the beard for a little bit. It's just also weird because it's like, by the end, it's just like very careful, just like, I guess that is a big deal to shave a mustache.
But we understand, like, look, man, if you are married and you made a big decision about your facial hair, we know it's your wife. Because men and women are different on this, right? So if a guy says, baby, I'm going to shave my mustache or beard or whatever the case might be, it's a big, long discussion and you will hear input. If the woman says, hey, I'm getting my hair cut and this is what I'm getting, don't say anything. Right? As the guy, you never say, because they're going to come home upset. They cut too much off because inevitably this is what we hear. Tell them it looks great. As far as celebrities taking off a mustache, I think the most dramatic, do you think, who would look worse, Dr. Phil or Geraldo Rivera?
Well, Dr. Phil doesn't have any hair. So the less hair you take off his face, the more he's going to look like that little game you played as a kid where you took the steel shavings and put it with a magnet and gave a guy eyebrows.
I'll be honest though, but I think if Dr. Phil shaved his mustache, unless he spoke, I wouldn't know it's him. I feel like Geraldo you'd still kind of recognize. Dr. Phil,
I think Geraldo would just kind of somehow look older, even though his mustache
probably would
gray.
look younger. You
Geraldo.
Think? Who knows?
I don't know.
That's the one thing. Like, okay, basically, if he is yielding to his significant other,
who?
Trebek,
okay,
on shaving, that tells me one thing and one thing immediately. This is sexually related.
Of course.
Period. So I know
you want to be attracted.
And if that's the reason, whether it's, I don't like the itchiness, I don't like this, I think we all see what I'm saying.
You won't
here.
wash it after
He's
coitus.
saying, like, look, that means more to me than what you think
like
about my face.
Yeah, well, I hear you. But I also think it might just be like, he's just tired of hearing about the mustache. So he was like, the hell with it. I'll shave it off.
Okay, but like, could you imagine? You're dating somebody and she said, Ted, if you really want to, I really wish you'd just shave off that beard. Would you do it?
Is it me receiving?
Or no, you're a giver, you're a receiver, you're the whole thing.
If you're receiving, tend to be clean shaven.
Yeah.
Listen, man, like every young kid, right? You're like 14, 15.
I'd be like, okay.
You get your original dirt stash, right? And you are clinging to this thing for your life, and you don't understand how this all works. So you think, all right. So I held on to this thing, and one girl that I found attractive said I would look better without it, right? And I don't mention this at home, but I went home and shaved it off. As soon as I walked downstairs, my father's like, who's the girl? Like, well, what are you talking about? What? He's like, you have held on to that thing with all your life. Now you're clean shaven. You're in high school. I get it.
Yeah, you're right. I think for me with girls, it was the same thing with a pair of jeans. I vowed to never wear jeans. Because, I went to private school, so we always had to wear, slacks or whatever.
The one time you use slacks.
I would just wear sweatpants all the time. Back in the day, sweatpants were not nearly as cool as they are now. So I vowed to not wear jeans. But then I was, 13 or 14, and there was a school dance, and it was like, Mom, I need to get some jeans.
I need jeans.
All right.
I can't go to that dance in these sweatpants.
It really is that freaking easy.
Yep.
Oh, I like it when you wear that shirt. That shirt becomes heavy rotation.
Yeah.
Right? That's all it is, man.
You know what? We touched on this a little bit earlier. A big deal in the NFL right now is a lot of the penalties going on. So we talked about Clay Matthews. It seems like he's been getting fined every week. Mm-hmm. The hit looked fine to me, but afterwards, Clay Matthews, who is is a violent man playing a violent sport, had some thoughts on it.
Well, obviously, I don't agree with it again. And of course, like I said last week, the NFL's gonna come back, so I put my body on him. But that's a football play. I hit him from the front, got my head across, wrapped up. I've never heard of anybody tackling somebody without any hands. Unfortunately, this league's going in a direction I think a lot of people don't like. I think they're getting soft. And, the only thing hard about this league is the fines that they levy down on guys like me who play the game hard.
I mean, he's right. I watched it 1,000 times. And he just tackles the dude.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with the hit. It is a standard hit. And keep in mind, like I said, you don't have to believe me, but when you ask the quarterback who took the hit, he even kind of chuckled and said, man, it's just a football hit. It was not dirty. He absolutely played his position.
I mean, I just don't understand sometimes with quarterbacks. Like, I don't know what the line is, because it's like you still want to play football, right? But then it's like if you hit them anyway, it's a penalty. Like, you might as well just make them like touch.
You might as well put
like a sack. You just got to
are the quarterbacks even asking for this? I haven't heard any of the NFL. Like, you had Roethlisberger and Cam Newton saying, "Look, man, I'm a big dude. If they hit me different," and you can see evidence of that. Like, just because I'm big and yes, I can take the blows, still call it the same. But I've never heard any of these guys, including people get demolished, like the Aaron Rodgers of the world, Russell Wilson, who got demolished all last season. I've never heard them say, you need to change the rules. It's never been that. Not from the quarterbacks, anyway.
You know what I would do? I would take it like, in practice, you have to, most of the time the quarterback's got a red vest on or a different color jersey so that nobody hits him no matter what. I would say, look, if the zone, it's like a baseball strike zone. If the zone, depending on the umpire, is the knees to the nipples, all right, then make the quarterback's pants orange. Make him up to the nipples orange. And if a guy hits a guy, he just sees it, and he's got to hit within that zone. You have cracked ribs, you have broken ribs, you have guys with all kinds of problems. But if that's the zone you got to hit in, if he's somewhere near that zone, then it's a safe hit.
But then here's my other question.
Color him like a deer.
But here's my other question. So now the quarterback runs past the line of scrimmage. He's going to scramble. He's not going to slide because he's going for that first down, and you take him down the same way. Right?
I guess once
it's
you're out of the
more
pocket,
violent then because he's actually moving forward under his own propulsion. But like, it's still the quarterback.
Sure,
he's still the guy that's going to throw the ball.
Here's another
and
thing.
yes, you can't just say because you're behind the line of scrimmage, I can't. If you have the ball in your hands and I'm a defender, man, they're going to approach it the same way every time. I mean, it's instinctive.
That's the difference. If you don't have the ball in your hands,
understood,
a second and a half before that play is completely illegal because you're tackling a defender or an offensive player doesn't have a football. Get rid of the football, dude.
If you have the ball in your hand,
get rid of the ball.
I mean, I'm
throw
sorry.
the ball away. That's what's smart.
You know why they throw the ball away?
Throw the ball away.
You see them do it all the time.
Throw the ball away. Flacco, listen, please.
I've told this story a million times. Maryland football that I grew up watching, not the best. So my nephew was like 6 or something at the time. So we're just playing like 3 of us, right? And he throws the ball away. I go, what are you doing? Right? Like, there's only 3 of us playing in this game. And he goes, I'm throwing it away. Maryland does it all the time.
Smart play. Smart play for the 8-year-old.
All right, so I'm not a big gambler when it comes to sports. Mainly because, I'm kind of with Miles on this. Like, I can make great predictions on sports gambling, but if I put money on it, it will not come true.
Oh, I'm very confident when I'm not putting money down.
Yeah, right?
The Steelers-Buccaneer game.
Right. So the Vikings were playing Buffalo, right? So Buffalo was so bad, and the Vikings were supposed to beat the crap out of them, that basically you had to bet $100 just to win 5.
Right. If you bet on the Vikings beating the Bills, you put $100 down, you win $5.
Correct.
Jesus.
So some guy put down $9,000 to get $450.
Okay.
But the Vikings didn't win.
So he just lost 9,000.
So he lost 9. So he lost 9.
Anyone put money on the Bills? I mean, just straight up.
I don't think you would.
I can't imagine anybody.
Look.
Sometimes
the secondary is decimated.
But it's not that. Sometimes there's trap games. You go, here's this crap team. But the Bills, I don't believe, struck anyone as even being in that position. Like, no one even thought, it's like that Cleveland thing. Here comes. You never since that. You saw, boy, oh boy, the Bills are just the worst team. And not only did they win, they beat the living S out of the Vikings.
Yeah.
Like, make no mistake, it wasn't just that they won a game. They beat the piss out of the Vikings from the beginning to the end of that game. It was weird, man. I mean, they beat the living hell out of them.
Somewhere Vontae was like, can I come back?
Yeah, I know I
didn't
quit.
retire.
Right.
Maybe he was the problem.
Even Richie Incognito said, I'm crazy, but.
There's some talk that Kenan Thompson's trying to get his own show over at NBC. If it gets greenlit, obviously that Saturday Night Live would lose its longest running cast member. He's been on there forever. Lauren Michaels, I believe, is producing the other show too.
Of course she is.
So I would pretty much assume
it's going to get
greenlit.
This is like the pipeline of what NBC does.
Yeah, but it's how great is it if you get on SNL, you know that's a chance for you to continue a career.
You got Jimmy Fallon hosting a show. You've got Seth Meyers after that hosting a show. All these guys go through that. All those guys go through Rockefeller Plaza. They all do. Yeah. Whether it's Alec Baldwin hosting for the 9 millionth time, being on 30 Rock, Tina Fey being on that show. It's just a minor league farm system for what is going to be their next big show.
Yeah. And I mean, it's great. I mean, you get some of the best comedians out there or improv people. So, yeah. But I do like that they said if it gets greenlit. It's like, well, it's Kenan Thompson you have in the building. Lauren Michaels. I feel like Lauren Michaels kind of calls some shots there at NBC these days.
Just a few.
Right? Like, I'm pretty sure Kenan's going to get that show. You were just talking about Jimmy Fallon. One thing that's always funny that he does, of course, is his thank you notes.
Thank you. Little notice on Instagram that says you're all caught up. For really meaning, dude, go do something with your life. Looking at other people's fun. It's the problem. Thank you, Heinz, for releasing a new condiment called Mayo Chup that combines mayonnaise and ketchup. It has a way better name than your other new condiment, Catch Turd. Catch Turd. Thank you, LeBron James, for signing on for Space Jam 2. Though I'm assuming you'll only sign on for a year or so and then switch to a different movie.
Come on. Whoa, that is... We get it.
We kid because we love. Thank you, Potato Button on the microwave, for really overestimating how often I sit down to eat a potato. Button on the microwave? Thank you, Candles on Birthday Cakes, for allowing me to combine my love of frosting with my love of dried wax and human saliva. Always special.
You gotta lick them.
Thank you, new weed-infused soda from Coca-Cola, for accidentally turning my weed habit into a Coke habit.
There you go, everybody. Those are my thank you notes. You know, the potato thing's a good call. I never really thought about that, but like, people sitting around microwaving potatoes that often?
So like in a pinch, just heat it up in the microwave.
It's just the worst way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't the microwave the worst way to do anything?
Yeah, you got a baked potato. You know what you're doing. I mean, it's going to be an hour. By that, hopefully, that's the first thing you do, and then it'll take you an hour to get your stuff done, and then, by the time you're done, everything will come together.
But the microwave, honestly, it's just to make something hot. The potato, it's like bread. If you don't eat it in 15 seconds, it gets rubbery. The skin of the potato is almost like taking the skin off of someone's knee.
I think a baked potato, too, to me, and I know they're not expensive, but it says it's like a nice dinner or something.
Yeah, well, it's Thanksgiving steak. It is. You're right. It's like the cheapest. Right. Maybe that's why they put it with it. Like Thanksgiving, you've lost a ton of money on food. A steak dinner, if it's good steak, right? You spend a ton of money. Here's this cheap ass potato. Take this bitch, put some butter on it.
Sour cream, though, when they really hook it up with the chives and all that crap, bacon bits.
That's what I'm saying. It seems high, even though it's not. It seems high end. Like that's I can't. Who's sitting around just eating loaded baked potatoes?
And they're not something that you have all the time. So when you have them, they seem very special.
Yeah. Here's a different one for The Bachelor. Did you guys know they do other Bachelors in other countries?
Okay. I've heard tell recently.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's probably started in England.
Well, there's one from Vietnam.
Okay.
And basically, during the rose ceremony, one of the women told The Bachelor, quote, I went into this competition to find love, and I found out that the love for myself, but it isn't with you.
Well, that's harsh.
So she went over and hugged one of the other ladies, one of the other contestants.
So the show is about this guy getting with a girl, or it's about a girl getting with a guy?
This is the guy picking one of the women.
So he picks the woman, and then she says, no, I don't want to be with you. I've fallen in love with somebody else. Is that correct? Okay, all right.
Goes over to the other contestants, hugs one of the other females, and says, come home with me.
Okay. Did she go home with her?
The two women left together.
Yeah.
But it says the second woman ended up changing her mind. She came back and accepted her rose after all.
Wait a minute. That doesn't. No. Your first reaction is your reaction to this.
Yeah.
Like, look,
Will you marry me?
If there's a question of, I'm going to pick between two people, get the F out of there.
She already says she's in love with someone else.
I don't know who I'm going to pick. All right, I'm out.
But I mean, it's The Bachelor. That's like part of the show.
Oh, dude, listen, if I'm a producer, this is great. But in real life,
no.
She decided you're not the person she loves.
If someone came home and said, Ted, I don't know if I want to be with you or be with someone else, I'll make this easy for you. See ya.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it's just that easy. You're don't worry about it. I don't want to be involved in any relationship competitions. Bye-bye.
Relationship Olympics.
If you want to be with somebody else, then you kind of need to do that.
I just do like the curveball of this one.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I know why I'm here, but I'm going to go holler at that chick.
Yeah, that's completely cool.
He's probably I've been there too, dude.
You just wasted 6 weeks of my life here. Yeah, thank you.
Did anyway.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I just want to be on TV, be famous.
You're right. Yeah.
All right, coming up, Mike Hawk's got your headlines in minutes. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Indiana bus driver let student drive, says he was pissed that the men's room wasn't on the fort anymore. We're going to Texas, where someone at the Department of Corrections is, in fact, an $18 million cocaine whore, which is fun. We're going to Detroit's Comerica Park, where you can buy a pizza with a loogie on top. Another person learns how quickly the whole selfie game can stop. And Florida man gets 20 years for stealing cigarettes. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
All right, our top story. The Texas Department of Criminal Justice got quite the anonymous donation. 45 boxes of bananas were donated to the department, and upon inspection of the product, authorities uncovered something even more unexpected: cocaine. Now, I had Thrill at $10 million worth, I had Miles at 20, and Ted at a whopping $25 million of cocaine in total. The amount of cocaine that was found within the pallets amounted to roughly $18 million, which means Thrill wins that one.
Okay. Anybody
the cocaine?
in the Department of Corrections, please help me with this.
All right.
If you're in jail, what do you do with $18 million of cocaine once you get it? Let's just say all the bananas come.
Slowly distribute.
I mean, do you get your money out of that in jail? What do you trade it for cigarettes? What do you?
I would think so.
I think you get anything you want.
I mean, those bananas are going to go bad by the time you get rid of the stash, but...
Hey, man, look. You know you want some of these cigarettes. There's two ways to get it.
They have since launched an investigation.
Yeah, $18 million of coke in jail. I don't know.
$18 million worth. There's no way that you're going to get rid of that much in prison. In other news, a school bus driver in Indiana has lost her job and has been arrested for conduct on her bus with students. Videos recently surfaced of the driver allowing 3 middle school age students drive the bus.
Yeah, you can't do that, man.
No, and I was saying, I saw the video, and like I said, while she shouldn't have done it, it definitely could have been a lot worse. This was on a back road, a dirt road that's like straight as an arrow, and they basically sat in the seat and drove quote unquote the bus. But the 27-year-old was arrested and charged with felony neglect of a dependent after an investigation was launched. So yeah, even though it is like probably the best case scenario for having that happen, don't do that.
Don't do it.
That's a bad idea.
You can have a driver's license and know how to drive, but that doesn't mean you're qualified to drive a bus. It's a special driver's license for a vehicle that big. So even if you know how to drive, doesn't necessarily mean you can drive that.
Correct. There's a lot of people that drive
a motorcycle license, man. There's a reason you need to go get certified.
Did the kid crash?
No.
See, he's perfectly fine to drive a bus.
Then again, I'm not going to.
This kid has driven a bus, and 100% of the time it's been fine.
There you go.
Seems like a good driver.
Yeah, right? Well, gents, it's happened again.
Uh-oh.
We have yet another death by selfie.
Oh, come on.
This particular case takes us to the trails of Michigan, where a woman was enjoying a nice hike around Lake Superior when she decided to take a risk and take a few photos. The woman took selfies on top of a 200-foot cliff and slipped and fell into the water below. Kayakers were in the area to rush to her aid, but paramedics pronounced her dead at the scene when they arrived. You can't fall 200 feet into the water.
What does that mean? She snapped her neck when she hit the water, do you think? Or
it's like hitting
internal organs just explode. I mean, what happens to you if you don't hit right? Obviously, she didn't hit right.
I don't think there's a way that you can hit right from 200 feet.
You might hit lucky, but I don't know that there's any.
I think they said like 80 feet lethal.
I mean, I'm not trying to... How do people keep falling off of cliffs with selfies?
Because they want the best view
possible. It's the only thing I can guess it, right? Because when you're going to take the picture, I'm sure you kind of mentally mark the spot you're going to stand. What I'm convinced of is once you turn your back to it, right, and now you see yourself in the image, when you start moving around trying to get that perfect shot, I think in that moment you kind of forget that you need to keep your feet where they are. Right.
What if you went cannonball or can opener and laid back into it? No?
Then no. You would. That's like hitting concrete, Miles.
You don't think a can opener you can pull off and just
Not
you
an ass first,
rooster
man.
tail? Yeah.
Even if you jumped like feet first and planned on it and had like you're still gonna break stuff.
Right.
They probably find your testicles floating on top of the water.
Back into a can
Your
opener.
best case scenario is you're alive, but you still need to go to the hospital stat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that your best case scenario? My bones are broken
to be
and I'm
honest.
floating in the
But
water.
you should see the picture I got.
Oh man.
How many people are gonna die by selfie too? That's ridiculous.
We'll find
We'll
out.
keep counting.
A man in Florida has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for doing the unthinkable. He stole roughly $600 worth of cigarettes from a convenience store. A jury found the man guilty of burglary and grand theft, which piggybacked on the 14 felony and 31 misdemeanor convictions.
I was
that he
going to ask
served.
you how you get 20 years for only stealing.
You have to have. At some point, they finally,
That
you know
makes
what?
sense.
He's got
we
what they call
can't
a rap
trust
sheet.
you outside of prison. Go away. Go away.
You could have bought the cigarettes and just drove to New York and sold them up there and basically doubled your money.
There you go. A young boy in Georgia may have $31 million to spend throughout his life, but it came at quite the cost. We did talk about this a little bit earlier today. The payday was rewarded to him in a lawsuit after a botched circumcision left him with a partially severed penis.
You know, but think about the conversation, because this is still a little kid who has no idea what's going on in the world. At some point, he's going to recognize maybe his junk's a little different.
Right.
As a parent, is that when I say, listen, obviously it's a surgical mistake. You have $31 million waiting for you in a trust.
You think that they have it just sitting there waiting for the kid?
No, what they're going to tell him is you have $6 million.
There you go.
Much like Macaulay Culkin, your trust was put in the names of your mom and dad, and now they're not around anymore. They're dead, and all your money's gone. But sorry about the botched penis.
Right. Mm-hmm. Hey, $31 million. Then again, I say that now, but I don't know.
Yeah.
A botched penis is pretty bad.
It is bad, man.
Think about, look, people mess up plastic surgeries and all that kind of thing, or anything aesthetic. It's the kid's penis.
You can
$31 million.
You can find love anywhere, man. That's it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. If you missed any of today's program, download the Men's Room app, and you can catch up on all 4 hours of the show. All right, coming up next time, we'll see you for Ryan Castle, the drunk at charge, into sit and spin another round of the word, and we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day.
Yes, indeed. It's all true, but in the meantime, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
All right, showtime. You ready?
Born ready.
Great. Did you bring the dongle?
What's a dongle?
Never mind. We'll just show them on your laptop.
I was supposed to bring my laptop?
Don't panic. You shared the presentation with me, right?
I forgot.
Well, if you log in, then we can...
My password. I was about to say I forgot my password.
You ordered the food through EasyCater, right?
Yes?
We'll be fine.
Food can make or break a presentation, so make sure you order at EasyCater.com. Individually packaged food delivered right on time. How? EasyCater.